How's it going, fellow collectors? Thank you for tuning in as always. And first and foremost, I apologize for not putting out a video in a very long time. Reason being, long story short, just been working a lot, been very busy doing other stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, guys, today what I want to talk about is the collecting experience. My experience that I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and things, if whether you be new to the hobby or a seasoned veteran, whatever the case may be, whatever level, I just want to share with you my experiences, my recommendations, and my plans to move forward from collecting. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. Stay tuned.
Oh, I got a live one here.
All right, guys, so first and foremost, I want to apologize for the condition of my statue room right now. It's very cluttered, kind of a mess, and just, you know, stuff everywhere, okay? The reason for that, guys, is because I'm actually going through a transition. I'm kind of just, well, not really a transition, just moving stuff around, kind of rearranging the statue room. One, pulling out old statues that I want to display, so obviously I got to put other ones away. Lack of space, one thing we always complain about as collectors, as statue collectors. But anyway, during this process, obviously I'm in the middle of it, it kind of inspired me to put out this video, guys. So what this video is basically giving you my experience, my tips about collecting, statue collecting specifically, you know, whether it be new to the hobby or a seasoned veteran. Again, this is just my experience, my tips, you know, so take with them as however you want. But hopefully I hope that you find these tips to be very useful and very helpful. Again, guys, these are just my experience and my opinions. All right, guys, so with no particular order, these are my tips for collecting. One, if you know what kind of collection you're gonna wanna get. What I mean by that is, first off, small collection, large collection, scales, etc., etc. The reason why you wanna know what kind of collection you wanna build is because you're gonna wanna know what kind of statue room, if you wanna build a statue room at all. For me, guys, personally, what happened here was, this room just had all my collectibles on the floor, not really anything out of the box, a couple of things here and there. Just a big, huge mess. It was basically just like an unorganized storage unit for all my statues. I was forced to actually do something about it because, long story short, the carpet in here got soaked, and it was soaked for I don't know how long, so it had to be taken out. So with that said, I had to get everything out of this room and put everything in my living room, and that alone was a headache. But once I was able to get in here, strip out the carpet, I decided, you know what, let's finally do this overhaul. Let's make this statue room the way I wanted to do. So of course, you know, I did the flooring, the paint, everything. It did take a long while, and with that said, guys, if you're new to collecting, I would highly recommend doing that first before collecting any statues. It's gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of headache. And also you're gonna realize how expensive this hobby is just by doing that, okay? Because you don't wanna be in my situation where you have all these collectibles, you wanna display them, but you don't have anywhere to display them. And now you gotta do a whole bunch of rearranging just to have your statue room. So with that said, guys, also, here's another tip on top of that. Know what kind of display you want. I knew I wanted these just because they're adjustable, they're heavy duty, they can carry the weight. You know, I know some people don't like the garage storage shelving. I personally love it. I know a lot of people like to use the IKEA and whatever. I just never found those to be really effective for my taste, my collecting, because they're limited in space. These are adjustable. You can adjust them as high as you want. They're very large and they can carry the weight. I've actually stood on one of these guys, and you know, obviously I'm a big dude, and they can carry my weight. So I have no issues putting multiple statues on these levels at all, guys. So again, just know what kind of display you want, and also, you know, do that as well. With that said too, guys, I know some guys like to have the glass. I personally don't like to have the glass because I can't stand the glares. I know it's a headache, you know, having to dust them and all that. Again, this is all stuff. Pre-planning is very important, guys, if you're going to decide to do this. But yeah, definitely pre-planning, know what you want, have a vision, get it done before you even start collecting it all. All right, guys, next tip, probably the number one rule maybe. Get this ingrained in your head, guys. You can't have it all right? know that, I mean, obviously, unless you're a serious baller, you're gonna see so much stuff that you want, and you can't get it all, okay? A personal example, statues that I had to let go are XM Studios Dark Phoenix, XM Studios Emma Frost. Those two statues, to this day, I still want, but I'm not gonna get them. And I had to accept that, and I'm completely fine with that, okay? So going back to my first tip, guys, pre-planning, know what you want, okay? Know what kind of statues you're gonna collect. Are you gonna collect a certain theme? You know, are you just gonna be Marvel, DC, video, whatever the case may be. Know what you're gonna collect and understand with that rule, if you wanna limit yourself from that heartache of the limitation of you can't have it all, know what you want, okay? So that even extends to, for example, lines. There's some people that are just perfectionists and they just collect the line without even really wanting a specific character, but I gotta collect the line. Screw that, just get what you want, because at the end of the day, guys, you have to be happy with your collection, okay? And me personally, I collect a little bit of everything, as you can see. You know, a little bit of comics, video games, different scales, 1/3 scale, quarter scale, 1/7 scale, 1/6 scale. I collect it all. But because I collect it all, there's a lot of stuff that I cannot get. I've already given you examples of 2, but there's plenty more. And believe me, guys, if you get into this whole habit of I gotta have it, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, you're gonna end up with stuff that you don't want and stuff that you regret buying, okay? Perfect example, I'm gonna ask you a question, okay? And I think this is gonna apply for most of us. And this goes into my next tip, okay? Next tip, question. Consider the car you have, or consider the car that you wanna get, okay? What's the sticker price on it? You know, I live here in Texas, guys, and the big commodity is trucks, pickup trucks. Look at a pickup truck, brand new truck, 50, 60, 70, 80,000, depending how much you want to upgrade, right? Now, it's easy to be, I want it, I get it, because I can afford the payments. But take a second. Again, let's think about, not even that example, but let's think about the car you have, whatever it may be. For example, my car is a 2014 Dodge Charger. It was about $32,000 when I bought it. That's just my example. Take your car, for example. When you bought your car that you really wanted, think about whatever it cost. I'll take mine. I made the payments on it. Okay? Would I have bought that car if I actually had $32,000 in cash and say, bam, there it is, give me my car? I don't know. That's a tough question. And what I mean by that, guys, is when it comes to statue collecting, the big thing is payment plans. Payment plans are a good way to buy statues, but at the same time, it makes it very, very easy to buy a lot of statues. And impulse buying is a big thing. You know, day one pre-order, bam, I got it, I want it. Well, you have to remember, guys, these statues take up to 2 years, 3 years. I'm still waiting on one statue I ordered 4 years ago, guys. Okay, 4 years. So by the time it gets here and it's paid off, you might be, I don't really want it anymore. Okay? So with that said, when you buy a statue, guys, my recommendation is this. Whatever it costs, pay for it at that moment. It's a different experience when you're looking at, I don't know, let's say this Harley Quinn right here, just to give an example, okay? She was about, I don't know, $600, okay? Would you want to drop $600 on that? Maybe not. But it's a lot easier when it's like, oh, well, you can pay $80 for the next 8 months or something like that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. But when you get it, you're like, it's all right. I don't really want it. See, the thing is, guys, when you pay full upfront cash or the full amount for your statues, you become very, very selective and very, very picky on what statues you actually get. And when you get those statues, yeah, you're going to appreciate them that much more. But anyway, That's just my other tip. All right, guys. So this next tip is kind of piggybacking off what I just told you right now about, well, it's budgeting. Know how much you want to spend, whether it be a month, a year, etc. Again, guys, it's really easy to get caught up in getting a lot of statues all at once. And sometimes you get caught up in that hype, but stick to a budget. You know, again, going back to my rule of can't have it all. That's probably going to be the most important thing you really need to learn. Can't have it all, guys. Okay? But stick to a budget. You know, everybody makes different amounts of money. You have certain, you know, so much money to play with. You know, if you want these collectible, guys, budget out whatever you can. You know, whether it be, I can save $100 a month, you know, based on what I make, you know, to contribute to this. Great. Guess what, guys? At the end of the year, you can afford yourself with that $1,200 1/3 scale statue, because they keep going up in price. And right now, the 1/3 more or less are around that much. Okay. But again, this kind of piggybacks off what I just told you, where if you pay full up front, think about it, guys. Say for a year, $100 a month, and you finally buy that statue you've been eyeing forever. And you know, yeah, I want it. I'm wanting to drop that money right now on that statue. When you get it, you're gonna love it, okay? As compared to, I made payments on it throughout the year, and even though it's been paid off for 2 years, it's all right. And that's a big reason, guys, why statues will always be for sale. People get them, they regret them, they don't want them. You know, they see the next new thing. And again, this kind of segue into my next one. Impulse buying. That's a big reason why guys end up selling their statues or giving up on their pre-orders, because they've been waiting for a statue for, let's say, 2 years. They're tired of waiting. They get bored. They don't want it anymore. They give it up. Because why? Oh, so-and-so just came out with this brand new whatever statue. Oh, I want that. Well, why are you going to give up on the statue that you've already been waiting up 2 years for, because you saw this thing, and now you're going to have to wait another 2, 3, 4 years for that one? Doesn't make sense. But anyway, you know, just take that into consideration. You know, definitely have a budget. Know what you can spend, because me personally, there was a time where, especially when I got started, I was just ordering stuff, and you know, before I knew it, I was just like, oh man, they pulled out for that? Wait a minute, when did they pull out for that? Like, hey, why am I short in my bank account? Let me check. Oh, it's because they pulled out for that. You can get caught up real fast, guys. So definitely set a budget, know what you can spend, know what you can afford. This is all just luxury stuff, guys. This is all just our wants, our hobbies. It can take a backseat to more important things, guys. And honestly, that's where I'm at this point in my life, where yes, I'm still collecting, I'm still getting statues, I'm still ordering statues, but it has slowed down a lot, okay? And it's not even necessarily because of lack of room. It's more just because I'm content with my collection. And that's the thing, guys, because I follow these rules, I become content with my collection. I could stop today and be completely fine with it. Is there gonna be something that I'm gonna be tempted to buy? Absolutely. Is there something that I've ordered recently? Absolutely. But again, guys, it's because this is my collection, this is what makes me happy, and based on the rules that I follow, you know, I'm completely what kind of collector you want to be. Me, because of my rules, I never plan to sell any of my statues, okay? And the reason why, guys, because the tips that I've told you, on top of this, when you're a collector like myself, this is just my opinion, you don't sell your statues. I know there's a lot of collectors that they get a statue in, they have it for a couple of years, and then, okay, it's time to get rid of it so I can get the next new thing, right? It's called the collection funds itself, which is fine. If that's the kind of collector you want to be, no problems with it. That's your deal. Again, this is your collection. Can nobody tell you what to do with it, okay? But me, since I keep my statues, I fund my collection. The collection doesn't fund itself. So what I mean by that, guys, is I can't just say, ooh, look what came out. Let me sell my Arkham statues to get this, this, and this. No, I need to pull out the money to pay for this, this, and this. And with that said, guys, because the collection doesn't fund itself, I fund the collection. That makes me even more picky because I don't sell these, so I don't have the funds to contribute to that. And again, that goes to my like, why am I gonna buy something to have it and sell it off? Again, that's just me. But again, when you don't sell your statues and you keep them like I do, guys, you become very, very picky on what your next statue is gonna be because you fund the collection. Collection doesn't fund itself. And then on top of that, guys, you never wanna experience that seller's remorse. You sell it, you get your new statue or whatever the case may be, and you're thinking the whole time, I shouldn't have sold that. Why the heck did I sell that? I love that statue, but I got caught up with the impulse buying at the moment. And I sold it to get that one. Sure, I like this statue, but I missed the one I sold to get it. And we see it all the time, guys. People will rebuy their statues, okay? But again, understand what kind of collector you want and be content with it. Again, if you're a collector like me, you really have to stick to that rule of can't have it all because you fund the collection. All right, and even if you're not, even if you're one, you can't have it all. Hey, if the collection's gonna fund itself, you can't keep this because you want that. Again, can't have this if you want that, if that's the kind of collector you're gonna be. So again, guys, really decide what kind of collector you wanna be. You know, understand your own rules and stick to them. Because in this, you can get sidetracked really, really quick. All right, next tip, guys, storage. Where do you live, guys? I live in a house. If you live in an apartment, you might want to wait till you get to a house if that's your goal. Again, life rules, guys. This is just for fun, okay? If you're in an apartment and you plan to get a house, don't even worry about this, man. Because believe me, when it comes to the rule again of not having it all, don't even worry about it because statues are coming out all the freaking time. You miss something, it's all right because they're gonna bring it out again, a better one later on. But anyway, guys, going to storage. So obviously, like I said, I live in a home, okay? This room right here is the smallest room in my house, so this is why I made it my statue room, okay? Now, obviously it's full, and like I said before, I'm making arrangements because I want to pull out statues that I have to display them. Just kind of shuffling it, really. But with that said, you know, a good part of my garage and my attic, as small as it may be, it's filled with boxes of statues. And again, this is just me, guys. I have the option of renting a storage unit, which will work great, yeah. But what I plan to do is actually buy a huge shed, 2-story shed, okay? And obviously I'm gonna put my collectibles in there along with all my other stuff that should be in a storage shed. You know, I want to be able to use my garage to actually park my cars in, okay? So with that said, again, you know, kind of setting up your priorities, guys. And that's another reason why I'm slowing down a lot on my statue collecting because I have different priorities in my life. That being one of them. You know, I can't have my storage shed if I keep spending all this money on my statues. But again, I'm content, okay? So storage, understand what your storage situation is. And again, that might have to influence what kind of collector you are. Like I said before, hey, I would love to keep it. I plan to keep it, but Badger, I don't have any space for it. Completely understandable, guys. Do what you got to do. Do what works best for you. Again, this is your collection. Can't nobody tell you how to design it, how to set it up, what to keep, what to sell, etc. Your collection. These are just my tips. All right, guys. So going back to can't have it all. Okay. Whether you're new to collecting, well, especially if you're new to collecting, but even if you're a seasoned veteran, again, can't have it all. You're gonna miss out on pieces, guys. And a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, when they become available in the aftermarket, they're asking for ridiculous amount of money, okay? My advice to that, guys, you decide if it's worth it, okay? And there's always gonna be that person that feels it is worth it, okay? But you gotta decide, is a statue worth it? Let me give you an example. So off the top of my head, 3 statues that I regret missing out on are, like I said earlier, XM Emma Frost, XM Dark Phoenix, and Sideshow Psylocke. Let's stick to the Psylocke one, okay? And this kind of applies to the other ones, and then, you know, those are just one off the top of my head. And the reason why I talk about the Psylocke or bring it up, guys, because I made a video about that, and I made a specific statement. That statement was, I know what it goes for in the aftermarket, and if I wasn't willing to pay for that statue at Sideshow price, I'll be damned if I was gonna pay those aftermarket prices. And you gotta decide that on your own, guys. You gotta decide, okay, this statue when it was for sale was for $800, $900, whatever the case may be. Now they're asking $2,500 for it, $3,000 for it, screw that. Again, if you wanna go for it, that's you guys. Like I said, your collection, nobody can tell you what to do, your money, nobody can tell you what to do. But going back to a tip that I mentioned before, I'm not even worried about it. Why? Because statues are always coming out. Just be patient. Just be patient, guys. Statues are always coming out. So don't be in any hurry to just impulse buy a statue because I missed out on it. I always wanted it. Let it go, guys. Just let it go, because for example, you can pay that $2,500, that $3,000 for that one statue, or you can get 2, 3, maybe even 4 statues at that price. You know, it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense to spend that much money. You know, obviously there's going to be that person who buys it, and that's cool, that's fine. But personally, I wouldn't. Because I know, being part of this community, this collection, collecting statues, guys, they're always going to be making statues. Every week, practically every day, there's a new statue announcement. Oh, this is coming out. This is coming out. So let me go into my next discussion about that. Okay? Patience. Now, if you like a certain character, guys, but you don't feel comfortable with any statues, be patient. Believe me, guys. Especially with the main characters. What I mean by that, off the top of your head when it comes to Marvel, who are the top guys? Let's see. Wolverine, Iron Man, Captain America, you know, any of the Avengers, you know, like I said, Wolverine, you know, a couple of the X-Men. Those main characters, guys, they're always going to be pumping out statues of them, okay? To this day, you know, the only Wolverine statue I have is a video game Marvel vs. Capcom statue. I'm still waiting for that comic accurate Wolverine that I'm like, damn, that's badass. That's the one I'm going to get. Look up how many Wolverine statues there are. Hundreds. Be patient. Don't jump on the first thing, okay? Especially when it comes to the main characters. You know, they're always going to be, I'm looking at my statues right now. There's going to be a million Venoms. There's going to be a million Harleys, Jokers, Transformers, Harley Quinns. I mentioned that. Wonder Womans, Catwomen, you know, anybody from the Batman series. They're always going to be coming out with statues of those character guys. So just be patient and wait until you get the statue that you actually want. Alright guys, so this is my final tip. Again, not the most important, just my final tip. Be happy with your collection, guys. You know, don't get caught up into the whole hype of, you know, I need to get the most badass statues. I need to get the most exclusive statues. I need to get, you know, this. I need to have the biggest collection. For what? To impress, you know, people online? Dude, you gotta be happy with your collection. Okay, what's the whole point of having a huge room with, just throwing out a number, 100, 200, 500 statues? It's impressive, but why did you do it? Just take a step back. Why did you do that? Because you want to impress everybody online? Then you're not really collecting for you. You're collecting for us, for everybody else. Don't do that, guys. It shows. It shows that when you collect just to impress others, it shows. When you collect for yourself, that shows, you know? No, every statue I have here, I have no regrets ever getting it, okay? But, you know, definitely you want to do it for yourself, guys, because at the end of the day, it's your time, your space, your money and do it for you. Be happy with your collection. Collect what you like. But yeah, with that said, guys, those are my tips. Okay, that's just based on my experience. I really hope you find these tips, this video helpful. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. You know, like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these tips, guys. Do they apply to you? Do they not? Hey, do you have any questions about anything else? If you're new to the collecting scene, or even if you're a veteran and you're still kind of wondering, well, you know, I've been contemplating X, Y, and Z. What are your recommendations? I'll answer them. All right. Anyway, guys, again, apologize for not throwing out a video in a very long time. Just been very busy doing other things. But yeah, I'm just doing some rearrangements, and once I get a little bit of rearrangements, it's not gonna be very drastic. I'll definitely do another room tour, okay? Just show you what kind of things compared to the last one. Believe me, guys, the last room tour that I did, it's pretty much stayed the same. Okay, not too many things, but yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of rearranging. Not too crazy. Mostly gonna be the same things. I just wanna kind of rearrange some pieces here and there. But anyway, guys, again, thank you for watching. And like I said, as always, collect what makes you happy.